men like preferred someone that's not going to clash with them. Someone has to be in charge. You know what I mean? There has to be one person in charge.
What would you say to women who say that they can both be in charge?
It's not possible.
Yo guys, welcome back to another episode on my channel. As always, I've got a special guest lined up for a very interesting chat today. I've asked this person to come on. I asked her to come on, I think, several months ago now, but I finally got her on. She's got the courage now. No, I'm just joking. Please welcome to the show, Kibong. Kibong, welcome to the channel.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right. You're on the couch. You've seen a lot of my videos, and now you're here.
I'm here on this infamous couch that I see in all your videos.
We're gonna have a great chat today. We've got a few things that we've got a general topic.
Okay.
That we talk about. We're gonna talk about dating for black men and women and interracial dating and maybe how that affects us. Let's jump right in.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Go ahead.
Okay. Kevin Samuels. Is he right or wrong? What are your thoughts?
That's a really vague question. Is he right or wrong? Yeah. He's depending on what he's talking about. Mm-hmm. I think for the majority, I agree with a lot of what Kevin Samuel says. Okay. But there's some things he says, and I'm a bit like.
It would like what? No. Tell us.
So he made this comment about. And again, I might be taking it completely out of context because I didn't actually watch the whole video. So maybe if I watch the whole video, it'll be different. Okay. And I know that seems to happen a lot with him. Yeah. People just extract small parts out, and then the world sees it, and they're like, "Oh my god, this guy's crazy." Yeah. But no. So he said something like along the lines of, I'm going to paraphrase, women shouldn't go out after a certain time if sex is on the table. Like they shouldn't date after a certain time if sex is on the table. Yeah. And I just thought that's nonsense. Like I can date whenever, like whatever time I want to date. If I want to go out on a date at 9 p.m. at night, the guy should not be expecting sex to be on the table. And you shouldn't be expecting me to give you sex because it's that time of day.
I agree with that.
I think that's stupid. But a lot of the other things he says about, you know, men and women and, you know, percentages and everything else he talks about, because he talks about a lot of stuff.
He does talk about a lot of stuff.
I do agree with a lot of what he says. He just says some stupidness sometimes.
I mean, I think I agree with that. Like, you know, whatever time you go out, no one should be expecting, you know, the woman shouldn't expect the man to pay, but the man shouldn't expect the woman to have sex with him either.
It's true.
So, no, I agree with that. I think one thing that he massively has highlighted are the dynamics between black men and black women in the dating realm. And I've said this before, you know, I think in the Western society, when it comes to dating, I don't think black women have the same level of respect for black men that they did in the past. What do you think about that? I'm not saying it's not justified, but I do think it's different than 30 years ago.
You don't think they have the same level of respect that they had for black men 30 years ago? I think... Okay, I'll tell you why I do agree with it. Okay. To a degree. Yep. Because black women are starting to understand and their worth. Does that make any sense? They're starting to gain a power and control that they've never had before, because, again, black women are we are the bottom of the pile when it comes to everything, you know. We are last all the time. So I think
the Western societies, yes.
In the Western society, yeah. When I mean, by the way, I'm not
global
saying,
standards.
No, Western society, you know, because, you know, as we know, white is beautiful. Well, that's what society, well, the government, people in power say. White is beautiful, white is power, white is educated, black is thug, black is, you know, all these kind of negative connotations put on black people. So black women are starting to find our own ways and strategies and to regain power that we've lost in a way over hundreds and hundreds of years. And I think because of that, it might come across that we don't respect black men as much as we used to respect black men, because especially in this day and age where we are starting to know our worth in a way.
I think it's always good to know your worth. I think, and we kind of had the conversation about this before. I think when a black woman's dating a white man, she has a level of respect for him that she doesn't have with a black man, or there is a higher level of tolerance. So like what I mean is, I think it's more if she's dating a white man and if she's on a date with him or they've been dated for a bit, and if there's some things that either he doesn't understand or some things that, you know, that like cross wires or something like that, she'll be like, oh, well, because he's coming from a different perspective in life, I'll have to meet him in the middle for this to work. And she's more willing to do that. Whereas, and I'm just talking from friends' experience and my experience, with if she's dating a black man, there's more of an expectation for him to, there's higher expectations and higher standards for him in regards to her. So then she ends up being less tolerant of maybe where he does need some growth or if wires do get crossed. And I think a lot of black men can look at that and be like, well, it seems that you naturally have more of a respect for the white man than the black man. Does that make sense? Because the black man seems, it's like when you talk to, it's like when someone's a guest in your house, you're usually quite polite with them. And you're like, oh, can I get you anything? But when family comes in, you're like, yo, get in here, man. Like, take off your shoes. Like, why do you walk in the shoes on the carpet? Everything like that. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's almost it's almost like the familiarity that I think sometimes black women can have with black men, which comes from a place of closeness, can come across as being less tolerant and having, you know, more standards for black men. I think a lot of black men do feel that way. Okay,
well, I hear that, and I think if we're going to go into that topic of why you it's might look like black women has more tolerance for white men over black men, we're going to have to really unpick it like properly, because it comes from, like, you've kind of basically explained yourself and said it, but in order to really understand, you'd have to like really unpick it and like really understand where it comes from. Like you said, you did mention a familiarity. Black woman and a black man, generalizing, by the way.
Yes. We're all generalizing in this conversation. Don't come for us.
It's almost, and I hate using the word expected or expectations, because you shouldn't expect or anything out of anybody, because you get let down a lot in life. But there's almost this expectation that because we are the same, because we have probably similar culture, similar upbringing, similar background, you'd understand me. Like, you know what I mean? You just get me. And so with a person that might not be the same race as you, you're a bit more tolerant and you're a bit more, you compromise a lot in terms of them again understanding you. You just compromise. You just like, okay, you know what? You don't get that.
Is it fair to say you might make more of an effort if you wanted to work with them? With someone from a different race to you? For
me, no. No? No, personally for me, no. Okay. I wouldn't make more of an effort. If anything, it's going to sound so bad. I put a lot more pressure on someone if you're not in my race. Like, I'll probably put a little bit more pressure on you, because I need to know if we're even compatible in that way. Whereas if you're a black man, you kind of have a pass for that area. I'm like, yeah, you're probably, and it's really bad. Don't do this. Yeah. But don't do this at all. I'm just being very honest. I just I give the black man a pass to be like, you know what, you've really ticked that box, because we're probably from probably the same. I don't have that. I'm a bit. You're cool, but
so for you, would you say your standards for black men are easier than any other race? Yes. Interesting. Yes. Okay.
For me personally, my standards for black men are a lot easier than any other race.
Okay, I hear that. What do you think about interracial dating?
Kibong. What Kibong thinks about interracial dating? Yeah, what do you think? Kibong thinks that, and I'm speaking in third person because we're going to go into this, but I personally think that regardless of race, regardless of gender, ability, disability, sexuality, sexual orientation. I don't care. Do your thing. Love is love. You know what I mean? I think you should be able to love whoever you want to love. You should be able to explore, and you should be able to just kind of do what you want. Like,
so you don't like if you see a black man with a white woman, that doesn't rub you the wrong way.
Not at all. Why should it?
Well, that's my next question. Is I think for a lot of black women it does,
and I understand why.
So can you help us understand why? Because I think as black men we struggle to understand why, especially if it's a kind of, you know, Donald Glover is a really good example where he was never picked by, you know, the attractive black woman while who's growing up. Then he becomes successful, or a woman picks him who's a white woman because that's who picks him. But now he's successful. Black women are like, oh, he went and got a white woman and became successful. But it was like he was never picked growing up.
No, I hear. Okay, so before I actually answer that question, because I can answer that question, and I've answered that question for days. Why do you think that black women have, I don't want to say issue, but have, I'm going to say issue because I can.
Yeah, say it with your chest.
Has an issue with black men dating outside their race. Like, why do you think they do?
So from conversations that I've had with black girls in my life, the honest answer, I think they feel entitled to black men. Oh. I think they feel that because, for example, we share the same skin color. Yeah. That they should have priority to a black man's time, affection, and love. Whereas I don't believe no one's entitled to that from me or from my black friends or black female friends. I would never say that black men are entitled to black women because they're not. No one's entitled to anything or anyone. Yeah. So I think that's why they have an issue, because, you know, when you hear the term, you know, oh, she got one of the good ones or something like that, it's kind of like, that kind of premise kind of says that we're all starting from a bad place, so she got one of the good ones. But I know you're gonna say all men are trash.
Am I wrong?
We'll get to that. But yeah, I think some black women, not all, but I think some black women who have the most issue with it, they feel that they're entitled to black men.
That's an interesting lens that you look out of it, and you call it entitlement. I think it's more. I hear why you'd say entitlement. I think it's, from where I'd see it, is more of a connection. I feel like if we want to like really like unpick this, black women and black people have for so long been put in this box, been dehumanized, been belittled, been degraded, like basically the worst. And this is me being very vague and just skimming over everything, because we can talk about this for ages, and I'm really not trying to dig into that deep. Yeah. But we've had to go through all of that together to reach a point where the oppressor is the side that you pick. Like, and I'm trying to not sound so
it's okay.
So terrible.
Be honest.
But but like,
because a lot of women will feel the same way.
Yeah, no, I know. It's really difficult knowing everything that we've gone through together, and we've experienced, and we've died for each other, died with each other, married each other when they told us that we shouldn't and they're going to kill us anyway. We've struggled with each other, just for, you know, and again, as we know, women are very are emotional. Well, humans are emotional, but women express their emotion. They're very expressive with their emotions. Yeah. And we are able to voice how we feel. Better.
So the thing is, I do understand that. Generally, I do understand that. I think the slight issue I take with that is that it means that people see me as a black man first before they see me as an individual first. And that is unfortunately, that's the truth. I know, but when it comes to dating, Well, just because it's the truth doesn't mean it's right.
No, I'm not saying it's right, but it's the truth. Unfortunately, like before they see me, they see a black woman first. They don't see, oh, a human being is walking in the street.
Sorry,
you know what I mean?
I do get that. I think what I mean more is like, so maybe a black girl will look at me and go, oh, you know, because he's a black man, I should be with him. Mm-hmm. Or he should be with me, as opposed to... Okay, so what I mean is, like, I've had black girls, you know, say... And kind of similar to what you said, as in, you know, black women, we've been there for you, you know, like, you know, we went through this together, etc., which is true.
Yeah.
But it's like, the black girl on the street, or the black girl who I meet at the bar, she hasn't done anything for me. Not her specifically.
No, I hear that.
The group she belongs to has maybe, historically... we've worked together with the group I belong to. But then it's like, her as an individual, she's not done anything for me, whereas my black mother has, my white cousin has, my white friends have, my Asian friends have. So it's like, if you go from the premise of, okay, well, because we've done this for each other, we should prioritize each other. It's like, well, you're looking at me as the color of my skin first, as opposed to who I am as an individual. Because if you look at me as an individual first, which is what I believe is the best way forward for everyone, you'd be like, oh, that's an individual who looks nice and I want to get to know. Yeah. As opposed to, I'm entitled to you because we share the same skin color.
No, and the thing is, I agree with everything you said. I think you shouldn't be looking at someone's skin color first. You should be looking at them as the individual. You should be seeing what they bring to the table. You should be seeing them for who they are rather than the color of their skin. I agree with that. Yeah. Unfortunately, with the trauma that travels through us, through generational trauma and through our veins and our DNA, it's very easy to... especially as a woman, and you lead by emotion. Like, that's just how you feel. Like, even I feel these things as a black woman. So everything black women feel, I just choose not to go, like, react off that. That's my first impulse. But you have to check yourself. You have to realize, okay, I feel this way. And why do I feel this way? It's because this has happened. I now need to, rather than going off impulse one, reevaluate and then go off impulse two, which is, okay, this is how I feel, this is why I feel the way I feel, but let's stop carrying that trauma as our shield in life and being like, because I've been through this, I deserve this, and that. I understand why, but we can't keep doing that. You know what I mean? Like, that's just not how... that's not how I live.
Listen, nothing in life is for free.
It's true.
You have to earn everything. And just for the record, you know, and I genuinely do believe this, most black men want to end up with black women.
Really? That's interesting that you say that.
Most black men want to end up... Most black men do. Statistically, most black men actually do. But most black men do want to end up with, you know, for all those reasons you said, in terms of culturally... people in general prefer to end up with somebody who's most culturally close to them. But I think in the Western society, I think black men and black women currently, they've not been able to get along or choose each other effectively recently, which is why we have these conversations. What's something you would like to bring to the table for us to talk about?
So, pardon me. So, have you ever dated outside your race?
I have.
Have you dated? And have you dated within your race?
I have.
Okay. And do you think that you get looked at differently based on who you're with? Or do you not?
I do, yeah.
You do?
Yeah, so if I'm dating a girl who's not black, I get looks from black women.
Oh,
and if
really?
I'm dating a girl who is black, I get no looks at all. No one bats an eye.
Okay. Do you think that's because you genuinely don't get, like, generally just get looks because of the situation scenario? I'm talking about when you're with someone that is not the same race as you.
Yeah.
Do you think it's just generally because you genuinely, get looks? Sorry, what's my question I'm trying to ask?
What's your question? Come on.
What is my question? My brain is going all over the place. You know why? Because my phone buzzes and I'm like, oh God. And it's on airplane mode as well, so I don't know why it's buzzing.
Don't you worry about it.
But Do you think it's because you genuinely get looks from people because of the situation and scenario you're in, or do you think because you're subconsciously aware of what black women think about
Am
you
I
dating?
like hypersensitive?
Yeah,
to
are
it?
you hypersensitive and hyper aware to it? So you're kind of looking out for it.
It's a very good question. I'm gonna be honest, and I'm gonna say I'm aware of it now, but I became aware of it because it was introduced to me. Because so most of my environments growing up, well, from when I started theatre school when I was 13, which is private school essentially, I'd be one of the only black people in my year and my class. So from the age of 13, really kind of up to 21, so when I graduated drama school, most of my environments, I was one of the only black people there. So a lot of my dating experiences had been with people of other races. Do you know what I mean? Because there aren't that, if we're being honest, in my experience, there aren't that many black people in private schools nowadays, in comparison to other races, perhaps. So I never saw as dating outside of your race as a thing that was very normal for me growing up, and I saw other people doing the same.
Yeah.
It was only when I got out into the world that I had these conversations with maybe some black people in our industry that voiced either what I should be doing or voiced issues about it. So I'm aware of it now because I've been made aware. I do think it's definitely a good, interesting point that, you know, the world reflects what our thoughts are.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what we choose to see. But that's my experience. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, because you said that you only started noticing it like when you were introduced to it. So do you think it is the subconsciously you are looking out for it?
I'd be lying if I said I'm not aware of it now. Like I said before, when I'd be dating someone, if she was white or if she was Asian or whatever, I would just before,
yeah,
like if I was going to a club that was predominantly black, I wouldn't think twice about it. But now I'd be like, we're probably gonna get some looks, and that's honestly I was quite surprised because I thought we were kind of past the whole racial thing growing up. Not like racism doesn't exist, but I thought, especially our generation, I thought we were kind of more open to dating like interracially.
Yeah.
And I think majority of us are.
Yeah, I think.
But there's a little bit of a disconnect within black men and black women for some reason. I don't know why, or a bit of a misunderstanding.
I think it's a misunderstanding. I think that again, as black women, I think again because of everything that's happened and because we feel so undermined, we're trying to regain power, regain some control, and I think that just men like prefer, generalizing here, someone that's not gonna clash with them in terms of we're gonna say ships, which I know that you've got of. They don't want someone that's gonna be a captain with them. Do you think black women want to lead? Do you think black women are leading? In terms of what?
In terms of in dating and relationships, do you think that black women have more recently taken the quote unquote leadership position within the relationship?
I think they've taken the lead. They've taken control over themselves, and I think that might bleed into a relationship. Okay. I think because we've found some leadership within ourselves and taking control of our own lives and where we can get and how far we can push the boundary in terms of success, wealth, career, things like that. I think then that naturally it's hard because then you've got this power and this control that you haven't had for so long. It now might bleed into a relationship and it causes problems in the black community, especially when you have men that want to be the heads of houses, because that's.
Do you think black women want men to be the heads of houses?
I can't speak for all black women. I can only speak for myself.
Okay, yeah. What about you?
I was brought up in a house where my dad was the head of the house.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Is that what you would want for your household?
I would want Okay, so I understand that in order for it to work, someone has to be in charge. You know what I mean? There has to be one person in charge.
What would you say to women who say that they can both be in charge?
It's not possible. Like, you can't. Two people can't. You can't be in
Are
charge.
you saying that somebody has to submit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Someone has to submit. Like, some.
I don't disagree with you.
In order for it to actually work, someone has to submit. Like, and I'm hoping, you know, when you're getting into a relationship, you're gonna be with someone that, you know, you trust and believe can guide you both on a great journey, on the safest journey to whatever it is you're trying to get. Like, you know
Absolutely.
what I mean? If you're going to be in a relationship. So, someone has to submit. And I do think if a woman meets a man or finds a man where he takes on that role where she believes that he is a good enough captain for the ship, she will submit.
So, do you think it's more... It's only... So, imagine you've got the strong, independent woman. Mm-hmm. And are you saying that she submits only when she meets a man who's worthy to submit to?
I think some women are also a bit respectfully delusional. They don't. Like, they believe that it can work and they can... And again, I'm generalizing because there are some men who would submit to their women, and that's a thing, okay? That is a
massively.
thing. But I'm gonna speak on this. I'm not. That's how the spectrum is something a bit different.
Yeah.
But I think some women believe, and they don't understand that there has to be someone that submits in a relationship, and because of that, it doesn't work, and that's why a lot of divorces happen. Well, one of the reasons why divorces happen, and relationships don't work because you're both trying to lead, and someone has to fall back, like, slightly, and it's like this umbrella. Like, in a relationship, it's like an umbrella, and you have your subsections, and within each subsection, like, it's equality all around, but someone has to take the bigger percentage, whether it's 51-49, someone has to take that bigger percentage. It doesn't mean that you're less than. It just means that for whatever this purpose is, you're going to be in control in this moment. For whatever this purpose is, I'm going to be in control at this moment. And it wavers between whatever the situation and circumstance is. But there has to be someone that gives way and lets someone else take the charge. Like, it doesn't work. Two leaders don't work.
Do you think women want equality in dating?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think they want something that isn't a thing. And I'll say, okay, let me explain myself, because in a relationship, me and my partner, we understand that we are equal. Like, you know what I mean? We both understand we're equal in terms of who we are as people, yeah?
Yes.
But someone has to understand that someone needs to back down slightly to give the other person that leverage to lead. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I think that because women are gaining a power, you know, they're like, we can be equal. If anything, I can lead. And I think some people think that they want to lead and they don't actually want to.
Yeah.
Like, I think they think they want to.
Yeah.
And they're like, I want to be the person to do this and provide and da-da-da. I'm like, baby, no you don't. No you don't. You believe you want to.
Do you think...
And I understand, but you don't.
You don't want to. Do you think... Because one thing that I do believe, I think that... I do think most women want men to shoulder the majority of the provisioning burden within the relationship and the responsibilities. And I agree, they're both equal but different. I think men and women are both equal but different, and there are, you know, strengths that we bring to the table, and where our weaknesses are, where your strengths are. You know, men and women, we complement each other. Masculine and feminine, we complement each other. I do think there's an element of for some women, they feel that serving their man makes them weak.
And I think it's because of way we view the words serving and submissive. I think those words are looked at as you being quite fragile and weak, and the truth is they're not. If anything, I gave you that part. I gave you that
It's
leadership.
true.
You know what I mean?
A leader can only be a leader when he has a follower.
Exactly.
It's true.
And I chose to. No, you didn't force me to. I chose to.
Absolutely.
So it's through you being so powerful and you having so much confidence in your own self that you give someone else that control. Being like, trusting yourself that you've picked the right person or someone that is good enough to guide you and to take control of your car or your whatever you're together car and take you on that journey and safely point A to point B, the safest journey for you and that person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think because those words are looked at as with negative connotations, that's why it's women don't want to, are scared or like, no, I'm not submissive, you know, I'm not weak. You're not weak. You're not weak. You're very strong, actually. Yeah. To allow someone else to take leadership, you know.
Yeah. I think I really want to push the narrative of women serve men, but men also serve women. We just serve each other in different ways. Absolutely. You know, traditionally the way a man has served a woman is she is the one he will fight the wars for. She is the one that he will die for. He is the one who will be responsible for making sure that the home is safe, making sure that the kids are safe, making sure that there's food on the table. Absolutely. You know, so there are ways that men, it's not just that a woman submits to a man and she just serves him, but it's by giving him the responsibility, she allows him to serve her in the ways that he knows how to. Absolutely. And I really want, especially, you know, our black women, I want them to understand that because men, we're hardwired to want to serve the women that we care about. And we're hardwired to want to protect the women that we care about. So, and I think it's like the opposite of strong is weak, but I feel when it comes to relationships and dating between men and women, we should see one is strong and one is gentle. One is you know, one is ambitious, maybe one is nurturing. Do you know what I mean? So as opposed to being like you've got the positive and the negative, it's the other side of the spectrum that delivers things into the whole that I think we're missing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and
what do you think?
I know, I agree, and I think if you remove certain words and replace them with similar words that just sound, because it's also those words have just what the connotations that they have in those words, like words like weak. Yeah, it's not a positive thing. Oh, you're weak. No, that doesn't sound good. But if you're like, you're gentle, it just sounds nicer and more pleasing to the ears. 100%. And you know, sometimes it's the way you say things, not what is actually said, that is more effective. Like talking about Kevin Samuels, his message is, they're good messages, just the way he delivers them.
Oh, he's very direct.
A bit hard to swallow because it's a bit too direct. Like,
I think too direct. I think because that's how men communicate. Because he used to talk to men. And sometimes still does. Yeah. But he was as harsh, even if not more brutal with men. But we're so used to seeing that direct language with men in terms, especially when it comes to areas where you could do growth. You know, we're used to it. It's not a shock. But we're not used to people speaking to women in such a direct manner, especially in areas where women feel they may be lacking. Yeah. So there's definitely an element of shock value.
Or like in areas where you feel a bit vulnerable or you're a bit lost and someone's just telling you boom in your face, it's like you're taking some bullets, like relax,
it's true,
easy.
But if I can speak for the men, guys get that all the time publicly, like so a woman saying that a guy, if he's broke, if he's short, if he's fat, if he still lives at home, guys hear that publicly, and those are all shots at insecurities at guys. But we take that on the chin and be like, okay, well, either we become those things and we get the girl, or we don't. And I think what Kevin Samuels is saying, well, if this is the guy you want, You either become the things he wants, or you don't get him.
No, and I hear what you're saying, and you actually going back to the topic of you saying that men are constantly publicly humiliated. Didn't say that, I paraphrase, but you said men are publicly humiliated.
Yeah.
Well, as we know, men's suicidal rates are quite high.
Very true.
And it might be because they're not able to express themselves the way they want to. And whereas woman, if you tell her something, she'll be like, no, I don't like the way you said that. No, that actually hurt my feelings. Maybe say,
well,
you saying those kind of things hurts my feelings.
Yes.
And, and because also people are just going to keep throwing at you because clearly you can take it. Take on the chin. You can take it. But
very
apparently
true.
you can't. Well, not being rude, but you can't take it because
it's very true.
It actually hurts your feelings. Just say that.
Yeah, I think there is an element of, though, when a man maybe expresses something that maybe he wants or desires, especially when it comes to women, he is labelled as patriarchal, misogynistic kind of views, or in that sense. And that's not saying, it depends what he says, but like if a man does say he does want a woman who will submit to him, that is labelled as very patriarchal and very misogynistic. And I think because, it's kind of what we said earlier, how people view the word submit.
Submit, yeah, it's not.
What's something you'd like to bring to the table? You want something else?
What else can I say? Okay, so I'm actually just gonna vent.
Go for it.
That's not even vent.
You can vent as long as there's a question, so it's a dialogue.
Okay, cool, that's fine. So actually, I'm gonna talk about being. Oh no, I'm actually gonna change my mind. I'm gonna talk about something a bit different.
Okay.
Women and sexuality and being open with it. I feel like it's from men. If a woman wants to be quite sexual, and
do you mean with one man or with several men?
No, just in her life. Like if she with several men, like if she's a single woman and she wants to explore and play the field or whatever, it's seen as quite a negative thing. She's not wifey material. She's not I can't take her seriously.
Yes.
Regardless of what her moral is, and because she's just out here, as they say, probably sprawling her legs
in these streets. Out in these streets.
But with men,
yes,
it's a glorified thing when you're out there doing it. But I think the misconception is that women aren't as sexual as men. They don't have those desires. When I think that's the biggest lie. I think
that is a lie. It's not that women don't have sexual desires. I don't think many men think that.
I think they're expecting us. They're like, oh, we want a good girl. We want a girl that has this body count and below. We want her to da da da. But the truth is, like, that's not how it. Like, that's not how what a lot of women want. And a lot of women are.
Do you think a lot of women want to be having sex with multiple men all the time?
I think if they not multiple men.
And that's the difference.
Okay.
Because most men, if they could, will have sex with multiple women at the same time. But I don't think most women want to operate that, or if they do operate that way, they tend to operate that way for a very, it's short term.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the difference, is what it is.
But okay, maybe that's the difference. Like a man can just have sex with.
Because you can have a woman who's very sexual, but she's very sexual with one partner.
But would it be seen as negative if she's sexual with many people?
It depends on the man, or it depends what you call as negative. Because if a guy's not looking for anything serious, that's the kind of girl that he's going to favor.
I hear that.
Does that make sense?
No, it makes a lot of sense. But I just... Okay, fair enough. I think my question isn't coming out right then.
It's a double standard.
It's an absolute double standard. And I think...
It's a double standard.
Okay, so actually, if I'm going to explain what I have to say and then ask you, then I guess the question will come through.
Sure.
So, being single for 2 years now and being in back-to-back relationships prior to being single for like 7 to 9 years.
Yeah.
I've found myself, like, I've understood myself a lot better. Now I'm single. I'm able to understand what I like, what I want, what I need.
It's a good thing.
And in many areas, but the specific area that I'm going to talk about is the sex part of that area.
Yeah.
In a relationship, you can kind of fall into routines. You can kind of become too comfortable where you stop exploring, you stop going on adventures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think being single, you are, without being tied down to one person, because yes, you're with one person and you find some stuff that you like, but when you start going with other people, you realize, oh, this person brings this and I like this and you know what I mean? And I think that because there is this negative way of thinking, like if I was to go out and be like, oh yeah, so I had this guy one time and then next month for this other guy, and a man might be like, oh, she's a hoe, you know what I mean? Oh, she just goes around sleeping with more people. Yeah. But I think men don't understand that a lot of women do want to explore that side of things, and they do want to find new things, and like we know, women cheat too, like, you know, and when it comes to the sexual part of it, women do cheat because their man might not be fulfilling them in the way that they want to be fulfilled. One of the big tick boxes for women, for myself, let me not speak for all women, is that your sex life has to be good. It has to be up to a certain standard, and if it's not, then it's a bit of a problem, you know what I mean? Sure. So I think that there needs to be more discussion around that area, about the sex area. And
so what's the question?
I'm like I'm like trying to feel that. I'm like, what do you think? Hold on, let me look at my notes.
That's all right. There is a double standard, and I don't there's no wrong or right about it. Like, I don't think there's nothing wrong with a woman exploring sexually, obviously, and plenty of women do. I think it's okay. Have you ever met a guy or been involved with a guy or experienced with guys where you meet a guy and you think, oh, I'd enjoy spending time with you, having fun with you, but because of other things, I wouldn't actually take you that seriously because maybe he's not on his purpose, etc. So men do the same thing, as in, he'll meet a girl that he might be like, oh, she's really fun, I enjoy spending time with her, but I don't see any long-term potential with you. And then he may see another girl who's like, okay, she's not the kind of girl that I would just have fun with, or so if I was looking for that, then I wouldn't pursue her because she doesn't operate that way. However, she has other things, or she operates in a way that is more long-term potential. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. I have a question. I actually watched an interview with Kevin Samuels and I believe her name, I'm gonna mess up her name, but I'm gonna call her Booty.
Oh, Shambooty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I watched that. And they were talking about women's sexuality and men and this perception that men have on women. And Kevin Samuels brought up that the only people that don't really care about body counts and stuff like that are married men, and like it's the ones that aren't married that are very particular about body counts and stuff like that.
With their women or with other women? So as the married man, does he care about? Is he saying that he doesn't care about the body count of his wife, or he doesn't care about the body count with other women?
No, I don't. The question didn't go that deep. They literally just said it.
Because I mean, like, guys care about the body count of the woman he's going to take seriously.
Why? Why does it actually matter though? Like, about the body count? Why?
Because, and this is the same, women shouldn't have body count. Different guys have different standards, if you will. The main reason is because there is a biological instinct in men to want to choose a woman who is more sexually selective, because it ensures that he's going to be the father of the children. So a woman who displays to not be that sexually selective, biologically, to a man's instinct, it says, okay, there's a higher chance that if I invest long term and have children with this person, there's a higher chance of the kids not being mine. Whereas the woman who displays or presents to be more sexually selective, it's a better bet for him that the investment he puts in her, especially when it comes to children, is going to be more rewarding for what his goals are, which is to get his genes into the next generation.
I hear that.
So, and that's not me saying that women shouldn't have a body count or whatever, because this is 2022. Like, people have their sexual experiences and they should. Do you know what I mean? But I'm just trying to help you understand from a instinctual evolutionary perspective, that's something that's pretty hardwired in men. That
it's just funny that, and I hear it and I get it, but men, it's kind of contradicting. You want this good girl, this girl that, you know, low body count and everything, but then, you know, damn well you want someone to be throwing it back in the sheets, like when it's time to get down to it, you know what I mean?
I get it.
So how is she gonna be a good girl with lack of experience, because she's probably if she's probably having sex with just like, but let's say her body count is like 2 or 3,
I agree.
She is probably stuck in a routine. Like I said, when you're in a relationship, you get stuck in routine.
Yeah.
So she's just working with what she's got. That sounds
I get what you mean.
She's working with what situation she is.
I agree with you.
And you're expecting her to be this porn star when it comes down to it. Like, you know, it doesn't work like that. She needs to go out there, explore a bit, have a bit of fun, experience new things, do different stuff, and then, you know, then she figures out what she likes. She can bring that to her husband or the person that she sees fit to be in a relationship when it's time, then she's ready.
Yeah.
You know, and then it just makes sense.
I agree that, and I was talking to a male friend about this yesterday, actually. That, and this is something I say to men, you can't have it both ways. You can't. You can't expect her to be the best sex you've ever had, but then expect her to have little to no experience with any other man. You can't have it both ways, and I agree. They can't. So guys have to choose what's important to them. But the same way I would say, so I agree with you. Like, if a man, and that's why I say that a man, the same way women can put men into 2 categories of who I'd have sex with, fun with, but I wouldn't choose long term, and a guy who I would. Yeah. Likely the guy for you who you'd have sex with and have fun with, who's amazing for you. Yeah. Likely there might not be other qualities that you go, actually, yeah, he's great fun for this, but these other things that he has isn't actually good for me long term. And the guy that you do choose may not be the best chemistry that you have, but the other qualities that are better for long term, you start to value that more. So I think that's why it happens a lot where, for men and women, in their 20s, the kind of guys they go for in their 20s is different to when they're in their 30s and looking to settle down. And it's precisely for those reasons that the guy that a girl will go on.
What's the difference? What would you say is the difference between the kind of girl he's looking for in his 30s, and the kind of girl he's looking for in his 20s?
Well, the girl he's looking for in his 20s is, if he's looking to have fun, it's the party girl.
Oh, okay.
The girl who wants to, like...
What if he's looking for something serious in his 20s?
Then it's probably going to be the more serious girl who's not the party girl.
Okay.
But I would just say that more people start to look for something serious towards the end of their 20s, early 30s nowadays, compared to in their early 20s like they did back in the day. Yeah. So I'd say that's the difference. Like, the party girl who is up for having threesomes and who is up for, you know, just being very sexually open, fun experience and everything like that. If he's looking to have fun, that's the girl who's going to look for in his 20s, especially if it's early to mid 20s. But then if he's looking, I'm doing generalizations here. If he's in his 30s, he's looking for someone to settle down with, someone he can bring to his lunch functions, and, you know, and someone who he's looking for different qualities when he's looking to settle down.
Absolutely. And so him being in his 30s, is he still expecting? And I know I'm asking you these questions, knowing that damn well you're not even 30 yet.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you have some like knowledge on it.
Yes.
Is he looking for someone that is the good girl, and because obviously she's lived in her 20s too. Like she may have been a party girl.
Or she may be in her 20s.
Or she might. True.
She may be in her 20s.
She might be in her 20s. She might be in her 20s. But you expecting around the age you're expecting her to have live the 20 life and then only had like a really small body count, because I think that's kind of really...
it's interesting because you can have a girl who is very sexually experienced because she's had long relationships.
You can,
but then you can have a girl who's very sexually experienced because she's had a lot of multiple sex partners.
Yes.
So, what was your question?
I guess you kind of answered it before by saying you just have to pick what you prioritize. Is it valuable that you wanted someone with a low body count and stuff like that, or you don't actually care about body count and you just love them for who they are? And
I think, you should always love someone for who they are. But it's just about, I think sometimes it sounds harsh, but I think sometimes we can forget that there are other options out there.
Absolutely.
So what I mean, it's like, sometimes a person might be like, okay, but he should love me for me. It's like, okay, he may love you for you, but there's another girl who brings a lot of similar qualities, but she has values in areas that he's looking for, maybe more so than you do. So she's more compatible for him than you are. Do you know what I mean?
No, I hear that.
And don't get me wrong, not every guy's like, a girl has to have a low body count, and because there's some guys who really don't care.
No,
but
absolutely.
there are some guys.
I'm generalizing,
of course.
Absolutely.
But there are some guys who do care,
Yeah.
and for whatever reason, it seems to be the more eligible a man is to a woman. So the more quote unquote high value he is, the more he's gonna care. That seems to be a correlation for whatever reason. And I think a lot of it comes to, I've kind of said this in one of my videos as well. It's difficult for a man to commit to a girl who's had sex with one of his friends.
No, absolutely.
And because respect is very important to a man. And it's not that she's not respectable, but it's, no man wants to be at his wedding where one of his boys has been inside his woman. That's the truth. Most men don't want that. And that's just one person. That has nothing to do with her body count. But it's a respect thing. So,
but I think women, I wouldn't want to be at I wouldn't want to be at a wedding where my friend is marrying someone that I have had. My friend is
but she
marrying
might not
someone.
care though. I think it's different for women, because it's different if a guy had casual sex with a few of your friends but committed to you, because you're the one who got the commitment.
No, I hear that, but
Does that make sense?
okay, but question. Okay, I have a question. So, would a guy care? Let's say if your girlfriend, your partner, was in a relationship with one of your friends. So it wasn't just sex; it was a relationship.
She's probably off limits then, but that's out of respect for the friendship, not because he may not want her.
Okay.
Unless if she was in a relationship with him, that he could still, like, if she got to a point where he got to know her very well and they really started to connect, he would, and if he's a good friend, he'll go to his boy and say, look, I really like blah blah blah. I want to see where it goes. I do want to take it seriously. That's different, because the respect for a girl in dating comes from when she gets the title of girlfriend. Okay. Not getting sex from the man. Does that make sense? Absolutely. When she gets his commitment, when she gets his exclusivity. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that does make sense. Yeah, no, it makes absolute sense.
I'm gonna take a shift here.
You're gonna take a shift?
I'm gonna shift gears.
Okay, let's shift gears.
Go back to black men and black women.
Okay.
Give me 3 things that black women want from black men.
Oh. Black women want from black men.
Yeah. What do you think the black women community want from the black male community today?
We want. I'm gonna say what I want, and I'm a black woman, so I guess my opinion matters.
Yeah, it does matter.
I think we want leaders.
Okay.
But some of us don't know that we want it. I'm gonna explain that. We think we don't because we think we can, as women, we think we can carry the world on our shoulders sometimes. Because, you know, just having to have having a period every month, being able to carrying a child for 9 months and then pushing this child, you think you're unstoppable, mate.
Yeah, it's true.
But the truth is you need help. Like, you need someone to help carry that load. And I think that because, again, we've regain some kind of power, we think we can now carry this world on our shoulders, because there are single mothers out there who've struggled, they've done it, but I'm telling you now, the load gets so much lighter when you have help.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I think so anyway, leadership. I'm probably expanding leadership.
Okay, well, leadership is one.
We want equality at the same time. We want to know that we're equal. I feel like
what does that look like?
So sometimes, no, not all sometimes, men have ego, okay?
Yep.
And I think sometimes that goes to their head. Okay. And when we give you the control, you don't respond like we've given it to you. You respond like you've taken it and you deserved it and you're entitled to that in control. You know what I mean?
Do you think a lot of black men are like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Do you think that's an element of where the lack of trust comes from?
I think so. I think that is definitely contributes to it. I'm not saying all black men, by the way.
No, I know.
Again,
no, it's
I know
general.
there's some.
I don't even, especially in the West, I don't even necessarily disagree with you.
I don't
disagree with you.
I think that when it's a mutual understanding about, like, going back to the word submissive, if we're gonna understand the word submit to mean not weak but more, you know, kind, gentle, you know, nurture, then it needs to be a mutual understanding. That's what the word is, not just I'm understanding it's gentle and then you're taking it to be whatever you think. You're
absolutely right,
but it's more so we both understand what it is. 100%. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it is equality in terms of understanding we're equal value, equal value, yes, but knowing I'm giving you that control, you know. Sure. And
one more thing.
Last thing that black women want from can I say good sex?
Yeah.
Is that bad? Great sex. Well, any woman, I'm sure I can't just say black woman, because that's not something specific to just black women. But anyway, let me find something else, because I don't think good sex should be one for just black women specifically.
Okay.
Ambition. We want an ambitious man.
Which just basically means financial success, really. Ambition is just a way to say he needs to have future financial success.
Or have a plan of getting it. Because some men don't. They actually don't.
Yes,
you know what I mean? True. It's not that you have to have landed there when I'm there. I want you to already have it all. Yeah. No, but have a plan. Know that there's something that you're conjuring up, or you want to somewhere you want to get. Like, you know, there's a goal, and it's and I get that everybody's level of success is different. Success is very different to the individual. Mm-hmm. But someone that has similar ambitions to yourself, or can see beyond that, like,
wants
you know,
the same things.
Wants similar things, you know, because someone's goal might be to be a manager at McDonald's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And if there's a woman that's a similar place that they want to land, oh my God, then you've won the lottery, you know what I mean? That's great. But then it's different when, you know, so if say his goal is to be a manager at McDonald's, but your goal is to be on all the TV screens across the world. You know what I mean? You're different, like, you know, and that's okay. That's where I see success to be, and that's where you see success to be, and that's okay. We just need to match.
I think that's wrong with that. I mean? So, leadership. Mm-hmm. What's the second one?
Equality. Equal value.
Equal value.
Equal value.
Or understanding equal value. Doesn't mean being the same or playing the same positions, but equal value. And ambition. I think that's absolutely fair.
Yeah.
And I think I agree that should be the standard that women have for men. That women have for men.
And what are 3 things you think black men will like in black women?
Well, same thing as you. I'm a black man, so I'll give my opinion matters.
It does matter.
Just my opinion. Submission. If you want us to lead, you need to submit. It's the truth. Some men may not want to lead, and some women may lead, and that it might work for them.
Yes.
But if you want us to lead, the truth is you have to be able to submit.
Absolutely.
This might come under submission. Trust.
Oh.
If you've chosen
That's a
me
good one.
to be in a relationship, I need you to trust the decisions I make, even when you disagree with me. Because you may be right, but if you've trusted me to help lead the family, and it's not saying that, that you can't, you should always voice your opinion. And
Absolutely.
any man who loves his woman, if he's the leadership, he's going to value what she has to say.
Absolutely.
Always. But if you have chosen me, you're communicating to me that you trust me. If you don't trust me, don't choose me. If you don't trust my decisions, if you don't trust me to lead in certain areas for us, then you shouldn't choose me.
Yeah.
And I think, and this isn't a blame, but I do think sometimes some women choose men they don't actually trust, but they still choose them. And I think that's where some of the conflict might happen.
Yeah, I agree.
The third thing, I'm not going to say that. The third
Don't
thing.
say it. What do you say? Don't say it. Just say it. Say it. What are you gonna
Okay,
say?
I'm gonna hate for this.
That's...
Black men think black women are beautiful, and when they try to appeal to Western beauty standards, it makes us sad.
Really? Yeah. I'd never heard that one before. Because it looks like the complete opposite. It looks like the complete opposite.
We prefer your natural beauty.
I've never heard that in my life.
You've never heard that in your life?
Never heard that in my life.
Have you heard a man say he prefers his black queen to wear the white woman's wig as opposed to her own hair?
Absolutely.
Well, for my circles, it's not saying you should like obviously, you want your man to make an effort for you. So a man would like his woman to make an effort for him.
That's really interesting, and it's good you said that. And I really
because do you know what the interesting thing is?
Go on.
Black women from other countries who always wear their natural never have a problem getting men.
It's true. No, but do you know what it is? It's difficult though. Like it's really hard to live in this society, and I've never, because like I said,
but you're wearing your natural now.
No, I'm not. This is definitely.
Okay, but this is like, you're not wearing like. Black woman's hair could be like this.
I see what you're saying.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Rather than I hate. What
like
you're
extending what you already have is different than wearing something that doesn't belong to you.
I see what you're saying. Okay, I see what you're saying.
We just want you to be yourselves. Because we find you more beautiful that way.
I've never heard a black man say this in my life.
Really? Most black men are afraid to say this.
I don't know why.
Kevin Samuel says this all the time.
That is...
They're afraid to say it. Like I was just then.
You were? That's why... Is that what you're going to say and you stopped yourself?
Yeah.
Because you thought you were going to get hate?
Well, I mean, I get hate anyway.
A lot of black women are going to love you for saying that,
Huh?
You know? I think a lot of black women are going to love you for saying that.
I think some black women will, but I think some will be like... And I get it may be hard to handle.
What will be hard to handle? Knowing that you're beautiful naturally.
No. Some. No, I've heard a few of like black girls say, friends of mine say, oh, dealing with her afro hair, it can be a handle compared to just putting on a wig or a weave or something like that.
It is difficult.
Which I understand, but I'm just being honest. That's just from what I've taught black men I've taught to. That's what they like.
Well, in the Western society, and it's seen as your natural hair is seen as unkept, uneducated. Like, it's just all the negativity.
I think it depends how you style it, though. Depends how you style it.
What do you mean, style it?
I don't know, because I don't have that amount of hair. But like, okay, my sisters, like, apart from recently, actually, Rennie didn't. But like, my sisters would always do each other's hair, and I would see it would take hours, because they've got very long hair. So I don't dispute the fact that it can be harder. I don't dispute the fact, but I'm just, if you ask my opinion, I believe most black men, that's just what they prefer.
That's interesting. I have black male friends, and I've definitely heard them say that they want their lady with long black weaves, like, you know.
Really?
Yeah, I've heard. And you like what you like. I don't even. It's not me. My brother's girlfriend, I see her predominantly with her natural hair. She's stunning. Like, I think she's very beautiful.
Yeah.
And she always has her natural hair out, and I'm always like, damn, like, well, I have no problem wearing my natural, like, I have no problem wearing my afro out or wearing afro styles out anyway, because it's hard to maintain.
I understand.
It's very difficult to maintain.
I understand.
This weather is not suited to our hair. It's not climate. It's not suited to our skin, in fact. But we are here.
I hear you.
We're here for better life, I think.
I hear you.
No, but yeah, no. So it's really nice, actually, that you said that.
Yeah, no, I think it's true.
And I've known you for 3 years, and you've never said that. I've never heard that come up your mouth.
Well, that's because usually, we get chastised for saying it.
Nah, only praise from my corner.
I'll take it. We'll take it. Listen, we could chat for hours. We have chatted for hours. But I'm so glad we're able to get you on. Where can we find you? Tell us your socials.
Oh, okay. My socials, Instagram, Kibong Tanji. So that's KIBONG _Tanji TANJI, and that's where you can find me. Just follow me. DM me.
Give her a follow, guys. She's got a lot of great stuff. She's a fellow actress. She's succeeding as well. Absolutely killing it out here.
Thank you.
Which is great. But thank you for tuning in to this episode. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Pow.